Psalm 22 is a profound and prophetic psalm that begins with a cry of distress and abandonment, but moves towards trust in God, a plea for deliverance, and a declaration of praise. It vividly depicts suffering, mockery, and physical agony, with strong prophetic connections to the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. The psalm ultimately expresses hope and confidence in God's deliverance, envisioning a time of universal worship and faith passed down to future generations. 1. Cry of distress. My God, why have you forsaken me? Verse 1. The psalm opens with a profound cry of abandonment and distress. David feels forsaken by God, a sentiment echoed by Jesus on the cross. 2. Mockery and scorn. All who see me mock me. They hurl insults, shaking their heads. Verse 7. David describes being mocked and scorned by those around him, adding to his suffering. 3. Physical suffering. I am poured out like water, and all my bones are of joint. My heart has turned to wax. It has melted within me. Verse 14. The psalm vividly portrays physical agony, likening it to intense dehydration and dislocation. 4. Trust in God. Despite his suffering, David expresses trust in God, recalling how God has been his refuge since birth. Verses 9 to 10. This trust amidst despair is a recurring theme. 5. Plea for deliverance. But you, Lord, do not be far from me. You are my strength. Come quickly to help me. Verse 19. David pleads for God's immediate presence and deliverance from his enemies. 6. Prophetic elements. They pierce my hands and my feet. Verse 16. And they divide my clothes among them and cast lots for my garment. Verse 18. These verses have strong prophetic connections to the crucifixion of Jesus, as described in the New Testament. 7. Declaration of praise. I will declare your name to my people. In the assembly I will praise you. Verse 22. David transitions from a plea for help to a declaration of praise, promising to tell others of God's greatness. 8. Universal worship. All the ends of the earth will remember and turn to the Lord, and all the families of the nations will bow down before him. Verse 27. The psalm envisions a time when all nations will recognize and worship God. 9. Future generations. Posterity will serve him. Future generations will be told about the Lord. Verse 30. The psalm concludes with a vision of faith being passed down to future generations, ensuring that God's deeds are remembered and proclaimed. Psalm 22 is a powerful and prophetic psalm, attributed to King David. It is often noted for its vivid depiction of suffering and its prophetic connection to the crucifixion of Jesus Christ.